children. You have a number of children too, right?
I have 4 children and 3 grandchildren.
You're a blessed man.
Amen. Yes.
And
3 of the 4 are married, and but we have one, our youngest son, Jonathan. He's 25, and he's very qualified.
Yeah. Okay.
He's an eligible bachelor.
That's to let everybody know that's watching right now, right?
Yeah. Every mother looks down from the balcony and says to her daughter, "Why doesn't he take you out?"
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Oh, so you've been a busy author and pastor, and I guess a lot of sermons become books, right? Over
exactly.
20 books, and this book is your latest. You Want Me to Do What? And I love the subtitle, Get Off Your Blessed Assurance and Do Something. Now, this is a daunting cover. If you have a look, there's that little wee man there. We can put it back up again. You got to see, there's a little wee man, and there's a huge door opening, and it's dark in there, and he's standing, and he's just wondering, what's ahead here? Yeah. And I guess that's kind of like the calling of God sometimes. Is that talk to us about the title?
I think there's not a single person who have not at some point said, "God, you want me to do what?" And some people don't want to ask the question at all. But in reality, I think God is calling every single one of His children to be effective for the kingdom. I mean, Jesus talks about bearing fruit all the time and the importance of bearing fruit. And I really believe with all my heart the day has come all across North America and around the world of believers being pew warmers is over. We cannot sit in the seats of salvation and say, well, I'm being blessed and saved and sanctified and everything is fine. No, I think the Lord is calling His church to rise up and to shake that spirit of fear, which is not from God, and the spirit of apathy, and go out and make a difference. When I preached a series of messages 3 years ago in my church, I basically led the entire church of thinking of themselves that we're not a cruise ship anymore. We are an aircraft carrier.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. Because that is the mentality we have often.
Exactly.
It's a cruise ship when we go to church.
In fact,
it's about me.
When you look at our website, there's a cruise carrier, aircraft carrier, and people say, "What is that?" I said, "Glad you asked."
Yeah.
They come in and they are trained, equipped in order to go to the mission field. And the mission field is wherever you are.
Yes, that's right.
Your co-workers, your neighbors, your school mates, even the people on the golf course. Yep. Wherever you recreate or work, wherever you are, that is a mission field that God has placed you there for a purpose. And God used this message of this book, and so many pastors actually are responding to this book more than any other book that I've written, because it changed the entire culture of our church. Some sweet ladies who are in their 70s who have never thought of themselves, effective army for the living God. They prayed, "God, what is it that you want me to do?" And they went out. One lady went and started a Bible study in a retirement home. And these sweet ladies in their 90s are coming to Christ before they die.
Wonderful.
And she said, "I never thought I could be that effective." But this multiplied over 100 times all over our church. And now the whole church is called Apostles' Life. And we're all called to be apostles with a small a. That is to tell the story. And the number one hindrance is fear. And that is why the story of Joshua in this book is very relevant, because God 3 times in the first chapter, "Fear not, fear not, fear not." Why would He say that to him if he is not fearful? And that's a message to all of us. The great heroes of the Bible, they're just like us. James said that Elijah was just a man like us. And we've seen him in the highest of high and the lowest of low, just like us. But as long as we realize that God has called every one of us to be effective for Him, to bear fruit for Him. People always cringe and say, "Well, big words like evangelism." I said, "No, that's not what God is calling you to do. He's just calling you to say, let me tell you something. Jesus forgave my sins." I mean, just a simple thing. And you do this through friendships and through relationships and not just, beating people over the head. And it builds through the year. I prayed for years, being a busy pastor and traveling around the globe and all of this. I said, "Lord, I really want to have an opportunity to lead people to you one-on-one." We've led many people to Christ through preaching and crusades all over the world, but I wanted to have that. So God, 11 years, God answered that prayer, and He placed me in a situation where I'm having the joy of leading so many prominent people, business people, to Christ, one-on-one in relationships that I'm building with them.
That's fantastic.
Let's delve specifically in some of the chapters
Yep.
of this book. I just want to tell the viewers, I just love the way you've laid this out, because each chapter asks, well, it starts with, you want me to, and then you have the different questions,
Yes.
and then under that, specifically, the chapters in the book of Joshua. So this whole book is the book of Joshua.
Right, exactly.
And lessons applied as we
Yes.
learn. And so, the first chapter is the basic question. You want me to step up?
Yeah, and that's the first thing.
Right.
And the most important thing, to say, okay, Lord, I'm here. Not send my sister, send me.